the 27th of February 1997, following an incident in Dunblane, pistols were reclassified as Section 5 prohibited weapons, and private ownership was restricted in England, Scotland and Wales. Several months ago, a petition was founded with a view to getting the Firearms Amendment No. 2 Act 1997 repealed, which would once again allow for private ownership and use of .22 pistols for sport and competition. My name is Al, and welcome to a video aimed at you, the shooter. If you are watching this, then there is a good chance that you are some form of shooter, be it an air rifle shooter, an Olympian, a game shooter, a rough shooter, a long-range rifleman, or maybe you're a member of a black powder pistol club, or even a collector. If you are indeed a shooter, then you need to know what I'm about to tell you, and I ask for your support, so don't go anywhere.
The range of this video will cover the following: the history of the Firearms Amendment No. 2 Act 1997, the average British gun owner, the ostrich effect, an anti-shooter's view of guns, and why your support is so important to the future of British shooting.
At the end of this video, I hope that I'll have convinced a greater number of shooters, gun owners, or even those who are on the fence about shooting, or who have a love of liberty and sport, to sign the petition and give us your support. If you don't think this video is for you, or you think you have made your mind up already, then wait right there. As even if you aren't pro-gun, then you can still learn a few things and hopefully come away with a better understanding and a better view of what gun owners actually do and who they are. On the 13th of March 1996, Thomas Hamilton shot dead 16 children and one teacher at Dunblane Primary School. An official inquiry headed up by Lord Cullen and a public debate saw two new Firearms Acts passed, which in effect prevented public ownership of handguns. Following the 1997 Firearms Act, 162,000 pistols were handed into the police to be destroyed or added to collections of historical importance once deactivated.
The media and news publications love to dramatise and exploit tragedies as they make for sensational news and get the general public's emotions and imagination working overtime. Unfortunately, the average person in the street, on public message boards and newspaper comment sections, believes that gun owners are all either mentally unstable lunatics with the bloodlust, or are Range Rover driving toffs who own several thousand acres of land and wield six-figure handmade shotguns and look down upon everyone. I am now going to describe the average British gun owner. Yes, there are exceptions. There are bound to be, as we are an incredibly diverse group of people. But from those who I know, have worked with and have met, here is an accurate description, starting with me. I'm British, in my mid-20s and married. I grew up in York and left school with no GCSEs. My parents are divorced. I live in a two-bed house in East Yorkshire with my wife and 3 cats. In my spare time, I enjoy photography and motorcycles. I spent 8 years in the Royal Marines. I am now a diver and also run a wedding photography company. I drive a 55 red Jeep with a scary amount of miles on the clock. As you can see, I'm certainly not upper class, and I most certainly do not drive a Range Rover, which is the stereotype that seems to pop into people's heads when they hear the title shooter. Shooters are an extremely diverse group of people, and it is near enough impossible to define what the average gun owner is like. Some of them that I know include opticians, offshore consultants, farmers, mechanics, handymen, gardeners, storemen, tyre delivery drivers, ROV operators, vets, garage owners, and one who works for an online car retailer. These are but a few examples, but I don't need to list them all to make my point.
The ostrich effect. Now this is a turn of phrase that I've coined myself and use it to describe gun owners who would sooner bury their head in the sand and ignore a problem that their fellow shooters might be facing than help
show their support and put their neck on the line. It goes a little something like this. Dave is a game shooter and only owns a shotgun. An anti-shooter is petitioning to get rifles banned, but Dave doesn't care, as if rifles are banned, then it won't affect him and his chosen shooting discipline. Therefore, he doesn't feel compelled to stand up for rifle shooters and sign his name on some silly petition that a group of rifle shooters have started in order to prevent this happening. A year later, rifles get banned. The same anti-shooter then switches fire, no pun intended, onto shotguns. Dave is now feeling the pressure and starts his own campaign and petition to prevent shotguns and game shooting being banned. Who will sign this petition? The rifle shooter sure as hell won't, as Dave didn't help him in his hour of need. Now hold that thought and keep it in mind as we go on to our next section. I am now going to say a word, and I want you to visualise the object I'm about to say. Gun. What did you visualise? Was it a chrome pistol? A side-by-side shotgun? An AK-47 perhaps? Chances are, what you imagined when I said the word gun was totally different to the person who is in the room next to you or also watching this video in another country. The point I'm trying to make is that anti-shooters, or antis as they are affectionately known, do not distinguish between different types of guns and their uses. Antis are quite clearly not into the sport, and due to this their technical knowledge is limited. Add to this the fact that they generally don't care, as they believe all guns, be it air pistols or heavy machine guns, are evil and must be banned and restricted. How many times have you heard even the media report guns incorrectly? During the recent siege in France, there was a post going around on an American Facebook page that highlighted the fact that a news report had incorrectly said that the police were armed with a Remington pump-action machine gun. Those who are opposed to shooting want a blanket ban on all firearms, and this is why we need the support of all you shooters out there. Without the support of everyone watching this video, the very future of British shooting is at stake. With an election on the horizon, it is important to show that the voice of the countryside and the voice of the shooters are heard and clearly understood. It's not just about the guns, it's about the time spent with friends, time spent putting food on the table, time spent managing and improving the countryside, and time spent doing what you love. All shooters need to stick closely together to ensure that British shooting as a whole stands the test of time, regardless of which shooting discipline you choose to partake in. Remember that we are stronger together. Thanks for your time. I sincerely hope that I have convinced some of you to sign the petition, which can be found in the link below. If you are on the fence about shooting, then I hope you gain a useful insight into what it is that thousands of us do and enjoy safely. If this video has also kindled your interest in shooting and you would like some more information, then please visit the Firearms UK website or Facebook page. I'm Al, and on behalf of myself and the Firearms UK team, thanks for watching.